What is up? What is up, people? Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to more CSGO news. Today we talk news things about CSGO things about the news things. Everything will be timestamped down below. If you guys can't tell, I am kind of going crazy here in quarantine, but hope you guys are all doing well on top of all of that. One of the coolest clips I have heard in a long time. That being ZywOo being highly praised by a notorious other French opera and player. That's going to be KennyS. The things he said about ZywOo in this clip just really go to prove to all of you guys when a notorious figure like KennyS says this about another player in terms of ZywOo, who we have seen still very little of, right? Very early on in his career. It proves to you how lengthy of a figure he's going to be in the Counter-Strike scene and how highly, if someone KennyS praises him like this is super cool to hear.
And I think if I'm having some good performances, it's also because of him. He's been really valuable for me. But yeah, he's amazing. And when I met him, I was like, yeah, he's amazing. And that pretty much, to be honest, that pretty much pissed me off that he was that good, to be honest. And I met him, and he's literally the nicest guy ever. And I was like, how can I be pissed at a guy like him, you know? And yeah, ZywOo, he's really impressive. I'm impressed by him, everybody is. And he's pushing me to be better. He's pushing everyone to be better. And I'm really happy to have such a nice guy and good player within our community of Counter-Strike.
I mean, maybe there's just not a lot of clips out there, but I have not heard a lot of players speak like that about anybody, let alone a young up-and-comer who has obviously worked his way to being a top CSGO figure, as we know, in ZywOo. And yes, even despite knowing his name is apparently ZywOo, we're going to stick it out as per usual. It's just very cool to see. Speaking of very cool, but I would also say very questionable, and a hot topic we're going to be talking about a lot in the future, that's going to be Astralis. My glory, my goodness, my holy muffins, man. Speaking of men, another man on that roster, now 7. S-Tag is not there yet. He's set to be there in July. He's technically their 6-man roster. Not even going to try out the roster yet. They've already now confirmed, as of a bit back, their 7th man. That's going to be Jugi. According to Nell, we could have some role swaps coming on this team. A lot of the players in this team may be learning some new roles or expanding roles as well for the future of what could eventually be a possible 10-man roster, which is just nuts. I think I'll talk about this sometime soon. The burnout in CSGO is now being counteracted by a team in Astralis who is taking an extreme risk on expanding their roster. If you guys want this as well, I think another talking point out there is this that is really flying under the radar. Do you guys remember in the outbreak of COVID when Astralis, a large portion of the Astralis group supposedly took wage cuts of up to 30%? And I don't mean to take this out of context, but how would you feel to take a wage cut and all of a sudden that same Astralis group who asked you to take a salary cut up to 30%, by the way, is going, hey, we're going to be adding 6, 7, maybe 8, 9, 10 players to our CSGO roster. Thank you all for taking the cuts. And again, that could be out of context. It could be not correlated, but it wouldn't sit well with me, and maybe we'll talk about that in the future if you guys want it. If you guys do want that, you know what to do. Very lastly, guys, I think a great talking point brought up by I'm a Pet that actually did scare me, and one we talked about yesterday, and I'm sure we'll talk about tomorrow, and maybe next week as well, that being so many CSGO pros, especially from the North American scene, making the switch to Valorant. I've seen enough comments about people judging these players as well, and people somehow judging me for cheering for a lot of these players who are leaving, because I guarantee you, at least one of the players you cheer for by the time the next few months rolls around will also make the switch, and then you'll be sitting at home thinking, wow, that sucks, and you know how I feel about this, right? The list goes on and on, Freakazoid being probably the most notable name so far, Zelsis, Wardell, Sabrosa, FNS, maybe some retired guys, Pith, Lasky, maybe Dennis. I think maybe even Mixwell and Scream could make the switch. Yeah. Think about that for a second. But during and amidst all of this, I'm a Pet making a great point as well that potentially not only losing NACS pros, but especially IGLs could hinder us in the long term. I think it's a great point to bring up. He does clarify he doesn't think it's guaranteed to happen, but it's certainly a possibility for the long term. This could hinder North America, which is not great, especially right now. We have our Road to Rio first event concluding. You got teams like Furia, Gen G, Cloud9 at the very top, Liquid, Evil Geniuses not at the top. It's a very flip-floppy period, and obviously right now, online CSGO, right? We don't know exactly what to judge. We don't exactly know how to judge where these teams are, but I would say in comparison to Europe, North America, as per usual, is struggling. So anything to hinder that more in the future is something I am worried about, and I think this will be a talking point in the future. Does I'm a Pet's thoughts worry you guys? Because, like I said in my reply, if he's scared about this, then I'm certainly scared about this. The man is a genius, and the things he says, I do take to heart, usually. He did clarify it's not guaranteed to happen, but the fact it's out there, and now it's always lingering. And it definitely could be a long-term effect. We might not be talking about this for 3, 4, 5 years, but certainly got to think about this. If there's ever a point in time in the future where North America takes a huge dip in talent, especially IGLs, maybe we look back to this moment, and when we look back and we say, I'm a Pet was right. What do you guys think about that? Until next time, though, hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you all for the great support. Thank you all of you guys, seriously. All of you long-term viewers or people who just, go out of your way to view this content and support me, thank you very much. I cannot thank you guys enough. I hope one day in the future I can actually give back to you guys even more. Thank you all very much. Until next time, you know what to do, all right? You know what to do. You're already doing it, all right? I'll see you guys back here.